5 times the world almost ended. The world has faced some truly dangerous moments, times when everything could have fallen apart. Here are 5 real events where we barely survived. 1. The Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962, the 13 Days of Fear. In October 1962, the world was on the edge of war. The US discovered that the Soviet Union had placed nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles away. If fired, these bombs could have destroyed American cities in minutes. For 13 days, both countries stood face to face, ready to attack at any moment. Then, on October 27th, something terrifying happened. A Soviet submarine, hiding underwater, was surrounded by US ships. The Americans dropped depth charges to force it to surface. Inside the submarine, the captain believed war had already started. He ordered a nuclear torpedo to be fired. If this had happened, the US would have struck back immediately, and nuclear war would have begun. But one man, Vasily Arkhipov, refused to allow the launch. He stopped the attack and saved the world from destruction. We were minutes away from the end, and only one man's decision kept us alive. 2. The Tunguska Explosion, 1908, a meteor almost destroyed a city. On June 30, 1908, a giant fireball raced across the sky over Siberia. Seconds later, boom! A huge explosion destroyed 800 square miles of forest, wiping out 80 million trees. It was 1,000 times stronger than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. What caused it? A meteor, just 50 meters wide, exploded before hitting the ground. The force was so powerful that people hundreds of miles away were knocked over. The shockwave traveled around the world, twice. The scary part was that if the meteor had arrived a few hours later, it would have hit the city of St. Petersburg, where millions of people lived. Scientists have warned that another event like this will happen again. The question is, where will it land next? 3. The Black Death, 1347 to 1351, a plague that killed half of Europe. Imagine a disease so deadly that it killed half the people you knew in just a few weeks. The Black Death, also called the bubonic plague, spread across Europe in 1347. It was caused by bacteria carried by fleas on rats. The symptoms were high fever, painful black boils, and death within days. Bodies piled up in the streets. Many towns were wiped out. Some thought the world was ending. By 1351, 50 million people, half of Europe's population, were dead. What if the disease had changed and become airborne? It could have wiped out humanity completely. 4. The Carrington Event, 1859, the solar storm that could have destroyed technology. In September 1859, the sun exploded with energy. A massive solar storm sent a huge wave of electricity toward Earth. The result was shocking. Telegraph machines burst into flames. Sparks flew from wires. Many people were electrocuted. The sky shone so brightly that people couldn't tell if it was day or night. But in 1859, the world didn't rely on electricity. If this had happened today, it would have been a disaster. Power grids would have collapsed. Satellites would have stopped working. Phones, internet, banking systems, and GPS would have been gone in minutes. 5. Stanislav Petrov's decision, 1983, the man who saved the world. On September 26, 1983, deep inside a Soviet bunker, alarms went off. The Soviet Union's warning system detected what seemed like 5 US nuclear missiles heading straight for Russia. The rule? If the US attacked, the Soviets had to fire back immediately, launching hundreds of nukes at America. But something didn't feel right. Petrov hesitated. Instead of following orders, he waited. Minutes passed, but no missiles hit. He realized the system had made a mistake. There was no real attack. If he had followed orders, the Soviet Union would have launched nuclear weapons, and millions, maybe billions, would have died. For years, no one knew about Petrov's choice. But today, we know, one man's instinct saved the world.